So welcome to Savannah Community Headlines Live. It is Monday, November 15th, 2021, and I'm Marjorie Young, and I'm glad you can join us here on the Water Cooler Show. When I learn about some really cool news, I like to share it on my social media. So today's show is all about Savannah Magazine's new guard, and we have Sarah Watson here. Good morning, Sarah.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. So as I understand
Thank you for having us.
The new guard is all about the next generation of entrepreneurs, business leaders, innovators, and anybody that's helping to make Savannah a better place to live. Do I have that right?
Absolutely, you do. So everybody kind of has their own holiday traditions, and ours, it so happens that the magazine is for our holiday issue every November, December. We go through a list of really amazing submissions and nominations that we receive from the community. And then from there, we really kind of look at every last line item and identify usually about 15 to 18 members of the community who are just doing really outstanding things. That could be incredible business acumen. It could be a real commitment to a particular charity. And oftentimes the people who end up representing our new guard are a group of honorees who really do that in both categories. They're really outstanding across the board professionally and then in their personal lives and kind of charitable endeavors. So it's a pretty cool thing that's been going on for a few years now. Many of the past honorees have gone on to be names that you would totally recognize today. And I believe that this particular group is wonderful as well. So you'll be hearing from them now, as well as I would presume in the future too.
So we only have a handful of them this morning.
Yes.
So do you want to go ahead and read all of the honorees?
Absolutely. Yes. Let's go ahead and give everybody their due. And then we're also, just for awareness, if anybody is available this coming Wednesday night from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Cohen's Retreat, we do have a ticketed event. Tickets are $20, and we'll be doing light bites and hors d'oeuvres, and finally some in real life networking, where several of the new guard honorees will be there. I will be there, members of our magazine staff, as well as various kind of people in the community, contributors to the issue. So it should be a fun kind of festive little holiday event.
It really is a fun event. I've been every year, and I already got my ticket. You make it so easy to be able to buy a ticket too. So
sure. Well, we have, I'm trying to think the best way. We do have an Eventbrite link that maybe, Marjorie, I can send to you if there's a way to share at some point. I think that might be the easiest way. Or if you just want to visit our social media pages, whether on Facebook or Instagram, we should have a direct link somewhere on there.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
Great.
Very good. So, Sarah, go ahead and let's announce all the 18 winners for the new guard this year. And then we'll pull on our first honoree afterwards.
Great. And I would say these are in no particular order, but they're in alphabetical order.
Very good.
We're going to go from the top. So our first honoree is William D. Atkinson. He's the Director of Real Estate Investments and Area Marketing at the Kessler Enterprise and did a lot of work on Plant Riverside District as well. Then we also have Meredith Barfield. She's the owner of the Edition Shop on Broughton Street. Somi Benson Jaja, the owner of Shop by Somi Studios, which is an amazing photography studio. There's Andrea Berksteiner. She is an entrepreneur and the founder of Operation One STEM at a Time. That's STEM like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There's Andy Kahn. He's a trial lawyer and a partner at Harris Lowry Manton, LLP. We have Wendy Dunwoody, an administrator at GHC Hospice. Kristen Harkelroad is the director of sales and operations at Capital B Company, which I'm about to get some honey in my coffee after this. There's Michael Holton. He is in two roles. He's the vice president of the Low Country Down Syndrome Society, and he also provides instructional support at South Effingham Elementary School. Next up, we've got Randall Humphreys. He's the director of operations of Sumitsu, which is a tech company. Corey Jones, the owner of Lucky Savannah Vacation Rentals. Andrea Mikkel, the executive director for government and community relations at Savannah State University. And some of these names are going to ring a bell when we share our guests. We also have Pam Peterson. She's an associate broker with Seabolt Real Estate, and she's heavily involved with One Love Animal Rescue. We've got Zoe Rinker, the executive director with Savannah Tree Foundation. There's Jenny Rutherford, broker and owner at Jenny Rutherford Real Estate. John Seagraves, who is the Coastal Division President of Great Oaks Bank, which is actually in Richmond Hill, but they're bringing a location into Savannah soon. We have Erica Herndon Timmons, an agent with State Farm Insurance. Armin Turner, who is the Physical Activity Program Manager at REACH, which stands for Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health. It's a health grant. And finally, there's William G. Wheat, who is the General Manager at T.H. Gary Lumber Co.
Bravo.
So there we have it.
Wonderful.
Business, education, entrepreneurship, nonprofits. It's healthcare. It's a nice group of people, and so many of them are involved in real passion projects on the side too.
Absolutely.
Which where they find the time, I don't know, but they do.
And these are the young leaders. They're moving the needle. They're our future. I mean, they're already doing all these cool things to make our already wonderful city even more wonderful.
Absolutely. And that's what's cool to see is they're already doing it. And that's definitely what set them apart in terms of who we ended up selecting for honorees. Exactly. Yes.
So our first honoree is Armand Turner. Can you reintroduce him? Hold on.
Absolutely. So he's REACH. That is an acronym. So I'll let him explain further, but he's the Physical Activities Program Manager over at REACH.
Congratulations, Armand.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Armand.
So tell us about what your capacity is.
Yeah, so I am the Physical Activity Program Manager for REACH. And as Sarah stated, REACH stands for Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health. And so we focus on working with the low-wealth African-American population here in Savannah and Chatham County. And we work with them to improve overall health. So for me, I'm looking at walking and biking opportunities, how we can make our communities a little more walkable and easy for people to move around, especially if they don't have cars, which is a pretty common occurrence within our community. So over the past 3 or 4 years or so, we've been doing that. I think we've had some great successes in that time.
So Armand, how can folks get involved with you to help with this mission?
There's a few ways. The number one is obviously reach out to Healthy Savannah. We have a big presence on Facebook and social media. If you reach out to us through that, just saying you want to volunteer, we've always got stuff that we need help with, whether it's doing pedestrian counts. So coming out to locations or parks within Savannah and literally sitting there and counting who's biking, who's walking, and which way are they going, stuff like that. As well as Tide to Town. You may have heard of Tide to Town. It's a walking and biking trail network we want to see built for Savannah. We also have a huge Facebook presence, and we're always looking for volunteers for that as well to help us figure out how we're going to do this and how we're going to bring it to Savannah. So
what are some of the stats of why this is so important for us to get out, get healthy, get moving?
Yeah. So the grant I mentioned earlier is awarded from the CDC. And so they're very invested in improving everyone's health and getting people out and moving more. And we know that people who do walk and who do bike and get outside have a much lower occurrence of chronic disease. So obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and so forth. And so they encourage us to do exactly that, get out and walk and run and bike more as you can. And so because of that, we sort of, gauge all of our work on how can we achieve that? How can we get the CDC's goal of 26 million people walking and biking more often by 2025. And so that's what we've been working towards. And slowly but surely, we're getting there.
Because you guys benchmark everything. I mean, you measure everything. So they're not just saying, hey, we're getting healthier. Mm-hmm. They can actually show that that our city is getting healthier. So
definitely. And what better place to walk than Savannah? It's so gorgeous. It's flat, really, so you don't have to worry about a lot of hills. It's so easy in many cases to walk and bike. And so we want to encourage people to do that just a little bit more.
Armand, congratulations, new guard, well deserved. So
Definitely.
I'm honored.
Well, of course, everybody, stands out in their own way, but it's just cool to listen to Armand explain all this. And it reminds me back of going through his submission, being like, wow, yes, he's on our short list. And here we are now. So congratulations, Armand.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, Armand. Okay. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Gosh, I just, I'm so excited that we have this caliber of citizens in our community that move the needle.
It's really amazing. Right. And then even I feel like those ripple effects too. Now I'm thinking, gosh, I need to get out more and,
moving.
Whether I'm volunteering or just going for a walk, there are things close to each of these people's hearts that I feel like I just as a kind of a normal citizen of Savannah could be involved in too. So and I hope everyone else feels that way.
I know. I just love how the networking also brings everybody together. Before we came on, our next honoree was talking with Armand, and they actually are talking about doing something together. So without further ado, I'm
to hear that.
Zoe Rinker, and if you could introduce.
Hello.
Hi, Zoe. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Hold on.
Good. So, Zoe. Yes, congratulations. Zoe is the executive director of the Savannah Tree Foundation. And so I can kind of see that cross section with what Armand is doing, being outdoors with some of the missions that you guys have. So I'll let you explain what you're all about.
Sure.
But just wanted to introduce you and congratulate you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to be here. Savannah Tree Foundation is actually working about to turn 40 years old. So for the past 40 years, we've been protecting and growing our urban forest here in Chatham County. We serve all 9 municipalities. So we're protecting the trees we have and planting the trees of tomorrow. I think it's really great coming after Armand. The reason Savannah is so great to walk in is because of our tree canopy. It provides shade, it cools our city, it cleans our air. And so it's just such an important, we can't take it for granted. We have to make sure that we're reinvesting in our canopy and that as our trees are aging, that we're planting new ones and taking care of what we have. And so that's, kind of our goal as the foundation is to educate people about, how the cycle of our urban forest and get them involved in plantings and planting trees in their own yards. A lot of our tree loss in Chatham County is coming from private property. And so, we need to make sure that you're not just taking down trees on your property, you're also planting and hopefully not even taking them down.
Yeah, that's real important. I had a number of trees on my property and I called an arborist. I didn't want to take them down and I thought I would have to, but he's like, no, because of this, and this.
Yeah, there's definitely some proactive maintenance you can be doing on larger trees. Everyone takes down pine trees because they are they're the misunderstood tree. They're the pit bull of the tree world, we like to say. Their issues are man-made. They are not inherent in the tree themselves. So there's a lot of resources on tree care on our website at savannahtree.org. So if you're thinking about taking out a tree or have some questions about trees on your property, check that out. We have, like you said, we link to arborists who can help you and take care of your trees, but we also just launched a tree care guide, an updated tree care guide and maintenance guide on our website. So hopefully it answers all the questions you have about planting, pruning, maintaining your trees here in coastal Georgia.
I'm going to go look at that. I feel like I need that too. I am a fairly new homeowner and have a black thumb, and I can identify the trees I have. And it's funny you said pines are misunderstood. That's a nice way to put it. That's how I feel about my pine.
So I know Zoe is very involved with the Rotary Club of Savannah's project with replacing the Wormslow trees. Go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah, so we're working with Downtown Rotary and other Rotaries throughout Savannah to raise funds to replace trees that have been lost along the Wormslow Avenue of live oaks. So, due to age, disease, storms, out of the around 400 live oaks, the avenue has about 75 what we call like missing teeth, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're raising funds to replace those. I think we've raised enough to replant 30 this year. At this point, that'll be in February. So this is actually a great time to be on because planting season in coastal Georgia just started last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess now. So it starts November 1st. It goes through the end of March. It sometimes is confusing, but planting when it's colder out is better for the trees. It gives them more time to acclimate before the stress of the growing season. So we just kicked off our first planting with International Paper last week. We planted 60 trees across 2 parks in Savannah. So we're really excited about that, making those parks better for, Armand to go walk at, So there's one park at West Side that didn't have a single tree on it. So we're really excited that we put 27 there. So we're kicked off our busy season. And if you feel like planting some trees or, helping us with tree care, check out savannahtree.org, or we're all over Facebook and Instagram, expanding our other social media presence. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to get out and, get some dig in the dirt, right? It's a lot of fun.
I know on February 19th at Wormslow, we're going to need volunteers to actually lower the trees into the ground. Well, there'll probably be 30 trees. Probably.
Yes, and I just saw the size tree we're getting for Wormslow, so I got one for my front yard. They're huge this year.
I was going to ask that. How big are they?
So they'll be 25, 30 gallon trees.
Wow.
Usually that's like 10 to 12 feet, usually on the 10 side. These trees are easily 12 feet, and they're just, they did well this year. So
good.
Start doing squats, Marjorie.
Yeah.
Get these trees into the ground.
That fundraiser we have until December 1st to continue to raise money for the Wormslow Trees Foundation. I mean, no, to write the check, you write it to the Rotary Club of Savannah.
Yes.
One tree costs $500, but people are donating $25. We've had somebody donate $5,000. They want to be part of that canopy forever. I mean, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool.
And
also that would make a special gift, I feel like, for holidays,
Absolutely.
To get a tree for someone at a location like that, that's really beautiful.
Forever and ever.
And special. Yeah.
And that's the great part about planting trees. You're planting your legacy. You're planting your future. You don't plant trees for yourself. You plant them for the next generation. And so when we talk about making Savannah better, this is just a very physical and very permanent way to do so.
Zoe Rinker, the executive director of the Savannah Tree Foundation. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Congrats, Zoe.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Yeah, I saw Zoe yesterday at the near the Forsyth Park. They were giving away, I think she said, over 100 trees.
Oh, so cool. And she's so right. That really is, to me, what sets Savannah apart too, in terms of wanting to be out and about, enjoying the shade, even in summer. It makes such a difference to have these beautiful trees protecting us. So it's the least we can do to kind of put them back when they need a new one. So
absolutely. Well, our next winner with Savannah Magazine's next honoree is Pam Peterson with Seabolt Realty. Hey, Pam, congratulations and welcome to Water Cooler.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Sarah?
Thanks, Pam. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell us about what you do and your mission to make Savannah a better place.
Yeah. Well, professionally, I am an associate broker at Seabolt Real Estate. So I get the joy of sharing Savannah with, I work with buyers and sellers, but especially buyers coming into town. I get to share this beautiful city with them, kind of play tour guide in a sense and show them the different neighborhoods. And, we really have a pretty diverse lifestyle that we can offer in Savannah. So, I can take them out to Tybee and show them beach neighborhoods. They can be near the river. They can be downtown in a, urban type setting, which, just really draws a lot of people into our lifestyle that we have here. So I just love sharing our city.
Absolutely. So tell us about your charitable contribution.
Yeah. So I'm very involved with animal rescues. I've always been an animal lover and kind of helped out with the different rescues over the years. And about, I guess it was January of this year, my wife and I found a dog on the side of the road, just inches from traffic flying by. We picked up the dog, couldn't leave it. brought it home with us and immediately thought, now what? What do we do? So we started calling all the different rescues, and immediately One Love, responded and stepped up to kind of sponsor the dog and accept it into their rescue. And as long as we would foster it, they covered all of its medical costs and food. Wow. And yeah, so throughout this year, that was my first, real experience of fostering. And throughout this whole year, I've learned so much about them. And, I help out with all the rescues in town and the Humane Society, but I'm really kind of aligned with One Love and what they're doing right now, just because of our personal experience with them.
Sure.
Yeah, and so we still have that dog that we fostered. We ended up adopting him and making him part of our family. So that was a really good ending kind of to the story.
It is.
And you've got lots of pets. She calls her house the farm. So
we have like a tiny farm. Yes, we have a pig, chickens, dogs, and a cat. Yep.
I know Amy Condon has a pig too. Is yours going to get really big?
She is. She's supposed to be a mini pig, right? But there's really no such thing. So she's about 100 pounds now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big will she get?
She should be at her max. She could get to 120, but she should be at her max. It's like a very large dog.
Wow. So how can folks get involved with One Love?
Yeah. So
volunteer.
The biggest thing in general, all the rescues need and One Love right now is fosters. Unfortunately, we have a huge overpopulation problem in the South, and every week animals are being euthanized at Chatham Animal Services, unfortunately. And so the rescues will get a list of animals every week that are in danger, and if we don't have homes to pull the animals and place them in, then unfortunately, they can be euthanized. And so the biggest thing we need is fosters. If you can't foster and bring an animal into your home, then just, going to the rescue events, supporting, donating. You could also just offer to take, assist a foster by walking their dog or taking them to an adoption event. There are lots of smaller ways to get involved as well.
I knew if I fostered, I'd end up adopting all of them.
Not us, but we're trying to still help other animals as well.
That's wonderful. Well, Pam Peterson with Seabolt Realty, congratulations on being a new guard with the Savannah magazine. It's a huge honor.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We're happy to have you as part of our honorees. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Pam. And now I'm going to, hold on a second. All right. Talk to you soon, Pam.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that fostering animals. Oh my gosh. I
know. I found it's easier than I thought, though, especially if you get really, rambunctious puppies or kittens. I was sort of ready to let them go at the end of my experience. I was like, great, you can find a wonderful home. So it's kind of that perfect mix of getting to enjoy them for a little bit, but not necessarily having to make that lifelong commitment.
So how about if you can't adopt them, then what happens?
That probably depends organization to organization. I'm sure they have different protocol. The last time I fostered, it was 2 kittens, and one was blind, and they were so cute. But I think it was in that case, it was only about a week, if I recall correctly. So I think it may just depend kind of organization to organization.
Gosh, I heard a story about how during a hurricane, how hard it is to pack all the animals up and transfer. Oh my gosh.
For sure. Yeah, I'm sure that would be incredibly challenging. I'm similar to Pam. Animals are really close to my heart too. So I was surprised that I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to adopt them. I think that happened for about a day. And then I walked in my bathroom and it was just a disaster. So I was like, well, we have enough going on here. And they're in wonderful homes now. So
good. And spread the joy, spread the love.
Yes, happy ending. Yeah.
So our next honoree is Andrea Mikkel. Am I saying that correctly?
I said Mikkel. She can certainly correct us if we're wrong. It might be Michael, and we'll find out.
We'll find out. There, Andrea, there we go. Hey.
Hi. It's Michael.
It's Michael. Okay. Yeah. Well, now we know. Sorry about that,
Andrea. Congratulations. What a huge honor to be selected with the new guard. You have been everywhere. Tell us about what you're up to lately.
So my primary focus, of course, is Savannah State University. We are we just invested our new president on Friday. And so we're very excited to start new planning, finding different ways to engage with the community. And other than that, it is Savannah JCs. I'm a mom first, so, there's that.
Yes, you were the past president of the Savannah JCs for a couple of years, right?
I was, and I'm the incoming president for the Georgia JCs for 2022.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. How can people tell us about the JCs and how can people get involved?
So the JCs are a 21 to 40 leadership development organization. Our mission is professional development through community service. And if people want to get involved, they can look up the Savannah JCs on Facebook. You can DM me and I'll get you in touch with the right person. Or you can just Google Georgia JCs and it'll take you to the website. But it's a global organization with chapters all over the place.
Do you know why they started it all those years ago? What's the history behind it?
So the history of the JCs, someone wanted a way for people that did not just have the means or the last name to really be able to get those leadership development skills and to be able to make a positive impact. And so that's kind of what it's turned into. One of the great things about JCs is if you're a member and you come in and say, hey, I care about the trees. I'm looking at Zoe's name right now. I care about the trees. I want to do this project. You have a whole group of people behind you that will help you do whatever it is that you're trying to do. And, one person can take over marketing. So if you're an accountant and you say, I really want to try marketing though, you can be the marketing person for that project. So it's a great way to get those skills honed. You have a team of people that you do it with. You make really great friends. And if you mess up, you just mess up. But you do it, you fail forward because you're trying to do something really good. So we don't put a lot of pressure on each other, but we do hold each other to a high standard, and each person works as hard as the other.
And the big thing is you have to be under 40 to belong. Is that right?
Yes, I always joke because I'm getting near there. You have to be 40 or under to pay us money to actually be a member. But if you're 41 or 45 or 50, you can show up and just do all the stuff and we can't charge you for it. So it works out. It's a better deal.
So do you guys look for monthly speakers still?
Absolutely. One of the big things that we do is a leadership development program called Leadership Now. And that's actually one of the ways that we met. We have someone who come in that we say are smarter than us, a lot more wise than we are, and kind of give us their blueprint. So this is how I got to where I got to. Sometimes it's very specific. We have a financial planner come in sometimes. Last month it was Goodwill. But it's a way for us to learn about the organizations in the community, but also just kind of learn from people as opposed to making our own mistakes as much as possible.
So what are some of the projects that you guys have worked on recently?
We just did a trunk or treat, which was really cool just because it's something that we hadn't tried in the past. And so we're looking for kind of those smaller but more impact projects. We're doing a clothing drive right now. Our next project is a Friendsgiving where we all come and bring food, but then the price of admission is a toy or a gift for someone in the foster care system right now. So everything that we do, we try to tie it back to the community.
Wonderful. Leandria, how can people get in touch with you or the JCs and to help move the needle to make our community a better place?
So JCs is just Savannah JCs just Savannah JCs on Facebook, and then Andrea Mikkel on Facebook. I will check my DMs for the most part.
Very good. Well, congratulations on being selected as the new guard with the Savannah magazine. That's a huge honor.
Thank you so much.
And in your role at Savannah State as well. Yes.
Yes. We love Savannah State and all that. And
Awesome.
Savannah.
And Savannah. That's why you're here. Absolutely. Right. We all love Savannah. All right, Leandria, congratulations, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. Oh my gosh, the JCs, I just love that. If anybody out there is watching is under 40, it's such a great networking group. It's almost like a a family. I mean, it really is a very nice way to get to know each other, learn, and move the needle to make Savannah a better place.
Absolutely. It sounds like such a win-win too, to kind of take your own skills and then be able to put them into something bigger than yourself and have that support and help on how to do it. So
absolutely. So next up, we have John Bogardus is here for Michael Holton. So hold on, Holton. I'm going to pull John on here. Hey, John.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. John is the president of the Low Country Down Syndrome Society, and you are here because Michael couldn't make it today. He's out of town. And give us some background about Michael and why this is such a cool honoree.
Well, first of all, we're so thankful for you, Marjorie, for putting this on, and for Savannah Magazine. One of our things that we strive for is inclusion in the community. And when we started this group, we wanted to make sure that our kids were seen as a regular child in community. And then Michael comes along. He's probably one of our older adult person with Down syndrome that has been involved with our group. And he's not only involved in the community, but he's making changes in the community, which is so great. Michael worked for a number of years at Effingham Hospital, and now he is the vice president of the Low Country Down Syndrome Society.
Wow.
This year, he was the first person with Down syndrome ever to be a technology specialist with Effingham County Elementary School. So his the person that he works with, Miss Lee, was his kindergarten teacher, and she's been a huge advocate ever since she's had Michael in school. And Michael actually works with her in school, and it's the first time a lot of kids have ever seen a person with Down syndrome in that role. So they come into classroom and they see Michael, and he's instructing, he's helping.
Wow.
The first ever. So he's breaking new ground in the state and in our region. So it's just awesome.
And, I know the Low Country Down Syndrome Society has been a huge advocate for inclusion. And every year you have that huge event where employers highlight the employees with different abilities. And I just love that Savannah Magazine selected Michael because
it's so
well, he was a standout for honorees too. That was really, we had a wealth of amazing people to choose from. So frankly, it was hard to go through and make decisions on who really, did it best in their particular field or what they were up to. So that's not to say that we didn't have lots of nominations that were equally special, but we really, we had to hold it to a high caliber. So he was definitely among that list for, being an advocate for his own organization, for his own kind of challenges that he's faced. And then also clearly just loves his new job too. That was kind of the takeaway I got also, that's just exciting to have someone have a new job and have that fresh energy around it. So we were thrilled to have him be a part of this year's honorees. Of course, he can't be here today, but we're happy that you're here too, John, to kind of be able to speak for him. So thank you.
I'm an old guy amongst all these young children. Probably could be my children. But, Michael, just speaking of his drive, it takes a lot to take on a job where, he's going to be in front of kids. Not only is it a challenge in performing your job, but, he's dealing with classrooms. And so for him to step up and do that, and the feedback I heard, unfortunately, Michael got COVID right before he started in August and had a pretty difficult course with it, but came out the other side. And so now he's been working. And so Miss Lee said he's just done an awesome job. The kids love him. And again, I'm older, so I never saw a person with Down syndrome when I was in school. They were always segregated and put in a different classroom. So to get to the point where he is actually leading and teaching in the classroom, it changes perceptions of children at a young age, where it becomes normal to see people that are different from you, and they don't get out out of high school and go to the store or church or work for the first time and see this person and not knowing anything about them. Now Michael is breaking that barrier to make it quote unquote normal to see people that are differently abled, that are making contributions and helping people in the community.
I know that
Absolutely.
Michael also was featured in a film recently.
Yeah. So
I didn't even know that.
yeah, the state of Georgia, it's actually, it's one of the organizations in Georgia they highlight. So for people with disabilities, there's a comp waiver. So once they get out of high school and they lose all their services and all, the state of Georgia through Medicaid has a comp waiver, and it just helps people for resources throughout their adult time. So they made this film of different individuals around the state of Georgia with different abilities, and just showed and highlighted how they are making a difference, how their life has been touched through comp waivers. And, you know, normally the thing that we don't want is that a kid gets out of high school and he sits on the couch for the rest of his life. And, you know, we're trying to break barriers for developing relationships. You know, when we go to high school, some of the best memories we have are going to ball games and parties and, you know, those formations of relationships that we make. A lot of times kids with different abilities, they don't have that opportunity to make those relationships. So they get out of high school, a lot of times they're stuck at home, which is an awful thing to think of. So, you know, we actually have some programs that we're starting in the local high school called Best Buddies, where it's very intentional that they hook up people that are differently abled with, you know, quote unquote, a normal student, and they have activities and they have communication, and it's just being very, you know, we wish it would happen organically, and sometimes it doesn't. So if we can be intentional in the way that, you know, you're going to have those future kids in high school that will become therapists, that will become doctors, and they gravitate to my daughter and say, she is someone that I would like to get to know. And there are studies that show that kids that
And your daughter has Down syndrome.
She has Down syndrome. So the people that are in school that will be the future doctors actually accelerate their achievement due to interaction with peers that are differently abled. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing that, again, we just want community, right? We want what you're going to see in normal community. We want that in the school system. And so it helps to accelerate those relationships because, you know, we have IEP. So we sit down with all of her teachers and the principal, and we kind of set out her plan of what we want. And we always say, you know, we don't expect that she's going to be an engineer, my daughter, when she gets out of school, but I want her to be part of a community, interacting and loved by others in that community, and she can love others in the community. So that's what we strive for.
Michael is such a trailblazer. He is such an inspiration to so many folks. And
I'm so sorry he's not here because he's a hoot.
I know.
He's so funny. And he would enjoy, you know, he enjoys pretty ladies. So he would enjoy being on with the two of you. He has a tendency to flirt with pretty women. So
well, please tell him congratulations. And we wish he could have been here. But John, thank you for taking time out to talk about his accomplishments, because it's a big deal to be selected as a new guard. And that's huge.
So excited. So thank you, ladies, so much.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate you stopping by and kind of singing Michael's praises.
My pleasure.
Bye, John.
Bye-bye.
God, incredible. I love seeing, seriously, thank you to Savannah Magazine for that nomination. I mean, that is.
Well, I think what John was talking about is so important too, that representation of people who are different than you, seeing that at an early age is a really formative experience. So Michael's work to kind of get the word out for Low Country Down Syndrome Society is one thing, but the fact he's actually in a classroom now with kids who day after day, year after year, they're going to understand that not everybody is just like them. Not everybody is just like their friends, but that doesn't mean anything different. We're all different people. And if they can learn that in real life, at a young age in elementary school. I think it's what John was saying. It maybe sets the stage for them to make those meaningful connections and relationships with people who are different than them moving on in middle school and high school and beyond. So
It's powerful. It's very, very
really
powerful.
cool.
What a role
Yes.
model. Okay, our next honoree is Randall Humphreys. He is with Sumitsu, and Sumitsu is a fiber optics and cybersecurity company located right here. I heard they have about 70 miles of fiber optics going all over Savannah, but we'll pull Randall on and find out more. Hey,
Hey,
congratulations,
Randall. How are you? Oh, I think you're muted. There we go.
Dude had tech problem. Headline. So
Oh, so
good
Randall,
morning.
good morning. Congratulations on being a new guard.
Thank you so much. Again, so flattered to be included with all these incredible people.
It's an incredible lineup. It really is. I wish we could get everybody on here, but we can't. And thank you for coming on. So tell us about what Sumitsu does and how you're involved in the community.
Certainly. Sumitsu is an IT fiber optic service, internet service, voice service, and cybersecurity company. That sounds like a ton of things, and it is. We've been in business since 1984. We're homegrown right here out of Savannah. We hire local. We live local. We're huge about that. We have 70 miles, as you were saying, of fiber in and around the Savannah area, growing that every day. And it's our own internet. We're not reselling anybody's. We're not an agent of Comcast or Windstream or any of those other companies. It's ours, which allows us to provide that service as long as cybersecurity and IT service to businesses at with just the absolute most top tier customer service, the customer service that's kept us in business for 37 years. So that's Sumitsu.
37 years. Wow.
Yeah. Every time I want to make the boss look at me funny, I remind him that I was born in 83 and he started the company in 84. So
wow.
I like to do that every now and again at lunch and have him give me a dirty look. But in the community, I tend to be more involved in and around tech. Tech SAV is a organization that I kind of co-organize with a number of other concerned parties in and around tech. It's a nonprofit here that is about support for tech workers in the area, all about promoting tech work in the area, in the Savannah area, Low Country area, and also about inclusion. And one of the bigger things that we do is around social events, such as what we call Tech Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of every month, which COVID put a damper on for a while, but is coming back. I'm happy to report the last couple of months into the foreseeable future. And also hosting classes like Code Bar, which is a class where people can come entirely free and spend 2 hours learning coding, other technical topics. It's open to the public. There's no cost of any kind. And we also host a what's called a Slack. If you're familiar with that, it's just a communication platform entirely free that allows people to connect with other tech workers, even the tech curious, as we like to say, can jump in there, ask questions, get advice, and also remind people that tech is not just engineers. We tend to focus on engineers. I have an engineering background, but marketers, salespeople, project managers, all these people have functions in tech. And so much of it is about inclusion, quite frankly. A lot of groups of people have traditionally been excluded from tech. And the Code Bar classes, the Slack is about accessibility. We want to get rid of all of the gibberish, all the gatekeeping, and just keep it very real. We're just people with a job and a passion. And if you have a similar passion, you're welcome.
You know, how lucky are we to be in Savannah, in my opinion, the most beautiful city in the country, and to also have this level of technology available to the city. You know, it's really wonderful for recruiting, because you want to live in a beautiful city, but you also need the infrastructure, which we have with all this fiber optics. So,
and I think the kind of human element to it is really great too. I know Randall mentioned customer service, but we engage with tech so much just in our everyday lives, and it can feel it's part of our lives, but it's not necessarily a tangible thing. So Randall being able to put a face on it, as well as Tech SAV, that you can go and meet other people and learn. It kind of provides that human interaction that that you don't often get in tech. At least I feel like I don't. So it's pretty cool.
So Randall, we got a picture of you here.
Oh my Lord.
Tell us about this. It looks like you're giving a lecture.
That's right. So part of that involvement in the community, this is kind of both part of Tech SAV, but I'm actually very fortunate. We're Sumitsu is very community focused, and so they're a big support there, kind of around those kinds of speaking engagements, and literally about just trying to clue the average person in, business owner, stay-at-home parent, whomever, into how you can protect yourself online. Online is no longer this other world. It is the real world. It is your real life. Your Instagram, your Facebook, your bank accounts, all of that exists online. And so those kinds of talks are really about empowering people and just, again, demystifying it. We love to use tech. We love to use acronyms. We love to use technical jargon. I can tell you all about encryption, blah, 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 algorithms, whatever. But at the end of the day, what you want to know is my credit card safe? Do I have to worry about my brother or my mother or my kids get involved in some, being scammed online or having their information compromised? You just want to, you don't need, all you need is the simple tools to say, this is how it works. Here's what the danger is. This is how you can help protect yourself a little bit. You don't need to know how door locks work to understand you need to lock your doors. It's a way to kind of think about it, right?
Oh, good analogy. Absolutely.
Yeah, super empowering to me. This is something that we use every day, and it can feel intimidating. And he's just sort of stripped all that back and made it something we all can do better.
So do you have to be in the IT world, or can you be anybody to attend these meetings?
Oh, anyone. They're like I said, it's really for anyone who is even just curious. We get the social events in particular. You just show up, and if you want to walk up and meet a person, that's all there is to it. We'll welcome you in, shake your hand, or respect social distance boundaries, whatever makes you comfortable. And of course, and that, like I said, you can just be adjacent to tech or not at all.
Wonderful. So if somebody would like to attend one of those or get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Tech SAV can be found at TechSAV, just like that, .co, and you can find our calendar there, a link to that Slack I was talking about, that chat. That's all it really is. Just a big group chat. And again, totally free to sign up to do that. And we also have a calendar with events there, as well as an Eventbrite link on that site. So you can find all the social engagements there, all the talking engagements there.
Randall Humphreys, congratulations on being a new guard.
Randall.
Thank you all so much.
Absolutely. Don't go away. I'm going to pull everybody back on, Leandria, and I want to just congratulate you all one more time before we log off. This is really fun. I can't wait to meet you on the 17th at Cohen's Retreat at 5:30. I think tickets are $20. Is that right, Sarah?
They are. Yep. And it includes a couple drink tickets, as well as some yummy. I've seen the menu. I can't remember exactly what's on it, but we're putting together some yummy hors d'oeuvres and bites to have. So it'll be festive and fun, and kind of a long time coming after so long of just these types of things that we'll get to enjoy each other's company for a bit and honor these really amazing people.
It'd be so wonderful in 10 years from now for you all to do something talking about where they were and now where they are.
I agree. Yeah.
Like that with
not that I'm aware of personally, but I actually have. I'll mention. I mean, it's amazing. Some of the people. One that comes to mind. I know so many of us know and love Glow Med Spa, and way back she was one of our honorees. So there are definitely people whose names you might not have known at the time, or whose businesses might have sounded new to you. And now reflecting back a few years later, you're like, oh, that's just such a part of the community. And I really believe that that's kind of a baseline that I have when I'm going through submissions. Like, could these projects and these passions and these businesses be something that we're going to still be hearing about in the years to come? And that's really kind of a marker for me and what I believe this group represents.
Wonderful. And you hold this once a year, and you can go online and make nominations. It starts
absolutely.
September, October.
So our nominations usually go out in about August of every year. We'll have a link on our website, savannahmagazine.com, as well as we'll usually kind of put out some information on social media that it's that time of year again to send your nominations. There are a few different pathways that people can kind of come across it and go ahead and nominate people. And then that process, I think we give people about a month to, from the time the submissions, nominations are open until we decide that we are going to go ahead and make our selections. And then again, they all come together for our holiday issue, November, December issue. And I can see there is our publisher who's chimed in with the tickets. There's that Eventbrite link. We also have it on our social media pages in terms of, like, if you go to our link in bio, there'll be a link to tickets there. We've done a few Instagram stories on the amazing honorees with a swipe up to get tickets. So same thing. There's a few different avenues where you can find those tickets.
Well, y'all are moving the needle. You're making Savannah an even more wonderful place. And please keep it up, because we need folks like you to move the needle. We really do. And that's what sets Savannah apart, because, the government, they can't do all these wonderful things, but our community absolutely can. And that's what makes us the rock stars we are here in Savannah. So anyhow, congratulations. We've been on almost an hour. It was really fun to get to know you all more in depth and learn about your projects and what you're doing. And we plan to see everybody on Wednesday at 5:30 at Cohen. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.